In this lecture, I will discuss about the class C computation. What means by computation? To computate something. It means if some thyristor is running and we want to switch off or we want to computate, that is called the computation. So, what is the computation in this circuit? For example, we have a two thyristor T1 and T2, and let us consider that thyristor T1 is conducting. So if we want to switch off the thyristor T1, then we will switch on the thyristor T2. So thyristor T1 will be switched off. This process is called the computation. So we will study about the class C computation, or this is also referred as a complementary computation. So we will first see the circuit diagram of this class C computation. So what is circuit diagram? We have a supply voltage Vs, the DC supply. Then we have a resistance R1 which is connected here and through the thyristor T1, and another resistance is R2 which is connected in this branch of the thyristor T2, and in between both the thyristor we have connected a capacitor C. Then this is a T1 thyristor, this is the T2 thyristor, and both are connected with a common branch to the supply negative. So let us first consider that we have a conducting thyristor T1. It means thyristor T1 is switched on. So there will be current flow through thyristor T1 from two ways. That is, there will be two loops through which current will be flowing across the thyristor T1. What are the loops? The first loop will be this one, through which the current will be flowing, and second loop will be this one, through resistance R2 and through capacitor C and across the thyristor T1. Once again, let us see what are the two loops. The first loop will be competing from the supply voltage Vs to resistance R1, and thyristor T1 goes back to the negative. And what will be the second loop? Second loop will be from the supply voltage Vs through resistance R2 and capacitor C, and after the capacitor it is through thyristor T1 and goes back to the negative. So it means two currents are flowing initially across the thyristor T1, and what are the values of the current? Through this resistance R1 there will be a Vs upon R1, that is supply voltage Vs upon R1, this current will be flowing, and through second loop, that is supply voltage Vs upon R2, this current will be flowing through capacitor, and both are combined flowing through the thyristor T1. So initially what we will see that there will be two currents flowing across the thyristor T1, and this, as soon as current starts flowing through this capacitor C, so capacitor C start getting charging, and once the capacitor C is fully charged with respect to supply voltage Vs, then the current flowing through this thyristor will be stopped. So in that situation only one current will be flowing across the thyristor T1, and that current will be through resistance R1. It means current Vs upon R1 will be flowing across the thyristor T1 when capacitor C is fully charged. And once capacitor C is fully charged, in this condition the polarity of capacitor will be like this. This will be plus and this will be minus. Now this is the situation when the first case the capacitor is getting charged and current is flowing through the thyristor T1. Now we want to switch off the thyristor T1. So what will happen? As name implies that it is a class C computation, so we will give a trigger pulse to thyristor T2, so that once thyristor T2 is switched on, then this will have a short circuit path, and the positive polarity of the charged capacitor C will be connected across the cathode of thyristor T1. So what will happen? The thyristor T1 will be reverse biased and this thyristor T1 will be switched off. As we know that to switch off the thyristor only there are two modes, that either in first case we supply a reverse bias across the thyristor T1, or in second case we should reduce the holding current below a minimum value so that thyristor T1 will be switched off. But we are considering only that how to apply a reverse polarity across the thyristor T1 to get it switched off. So in this case, once this thyristor T2 is fired or given a trigger pulse, so this positive polarity across the capacitor will be connected across the cathode of the thyristor T1 and the thyristor T1 will be switched off. Now in this case, when the thyristor T1 will be switched off and thyristor T2 is switched on. Thyristor T2 is one switched on, then now again there will be two currents flowing through thyristor T2. That is, there will be two loops. One loop will be from the supply voltage through resistance R2 and through the thyristor T2. And there will be a second loop through supply voltage Vs and resistance R1 through charging capacitor C and comes back to the negative. Now we have to see here that initially now this has a positive and this has negative polarity. So the current which will be flowing through resistance R1, that will be twice of the voltage, that is this Vs plus the capacitor which is already charged here across the C. So it means current will be flowing by through capacitor or through this R1 loop will be 2 Vs upon R1, and through resistance R2 current will be flowing only Vs upon R2. So there are two current which will be flowing across the thyristor T2, that is one from Vs upon R2 through the thyristor T2, and second one will be 2 Vs upon R1 through capacitor C and through thyristor T2. So in this case, now once this capacitor C will be charged, so capacitor C will charge in opposite direction and polarity will be reversed. How the polarity will be reversed? This will become positive and this will become negative. So now once capacitor is charged in reverse direction, so what will happen? If we switch on the thyristor T1, so it will automatically switch off the thyristor T2. How? Let us see. Now this capacitor is fully charged with plus polarity this side, that is left side with plus polarity and right side with negative polarity. And once this capacitor C is fully charged, then capacitor current flowing through this C will be stopped and only one current will be flowing through the thyristor T2, that will be through resistance R2. So after this, if you give the trigger pulse to thyristor T1, so what will happen? This path will be short circuited. So this positive polarity will be connected across the cathode of the thyristor T2. So T2 will be automatically switched off. So that's why it is called a complementary commutation, because if thyristor T2 is conducting and you give a trigger pulse to thyristor T1, then it will try to switch off the thyristor T2. And if thyristor T1 is conducting and if you give a trigger pulse to thyristor T2, then it will try to switch off the thyristor T1. It means by turning on only one thyristor, it switched off the other thyristor. That's why it is called the complementary commutation. Now the whole operation working of this circuit we have to see with the waveform. So what are the waveform? We have shown here the Ig1, this is the trigger pulse which has been given to the thyristor T1, and this is the Ig2 which is the trigger pulse given to thyristor T2. Now let us see in the first case when the thyristor T1 was conducting. So we have shown here with the waveform that current was flowing across the thyristor T1, that is the IT1, and this is the maximum current is flowing which has been shown here, that is a Vs by R1 plus Vs by R2. Two currents are flowing through thyristor T1 in initial condition. Now once the capacitor C is charged, so current flowing across the capacitor will be stopped. So only one current will be flowing, that will be through resistance R1. That's why it has been shown here that initially we have a two currents, that is Vs by R1 plus Vs by R2 up to this here, up to from this point to this point, and after that when capacitor is fully charged, the capacitor has become fully charged, then only one current is flowing through thyristor T1, that is Vs by R1. That is how it has been shown through thyristor current IT1 here. So what we say one, that IT1 is flowing across the thyristor T1. Now let us see, when the thyristor T1 is conducting, so as we know that any device or any thyristor, if it is conducting, the voltage drop because this device will be 0. That's why it has been shown here, the voltage drop because the thyristor T1 is 0. And since thyristor T2 is not conducting that stand, so there will be a maximum voltage or the voltage according to the supply voltage availability that will be available here. So this is the supply voltage across the thyristor T2, that is VT2, is available to a maximum value from here to this point. Now what will be the current IT2? Since thyristor T2 was not conducting in this stand, so IT2 current is 0 from this position to here. And what will be the capacitor voltage? As we know that initially the capacitor is getting charged from right to left, that is right polarity is plus and left polarity is negative. And since this capacitor is getting charged through thyristor T1, so this is the voltage across the capacitor which is developed during this situation. This is the Vc is the voltage across the capacitor which has been charged by a value of Vs. Now this is the charging current IC. So initially what we see that the charging of the current will be through Vs by R2. See, this is the capacitor, and by this loop Vs through supply voltage Vs through resistance R2, and only this capacitor was getting charged. So this is the charging current of the capacitor in the first mode, and this value of the charging current is given Vs by R2. And once the capacitor has become fully charged, then the charging current will be 0. That's why the charging current has been shown here 0 value, and this is the only notch which has been shown, that is the charging part of the capacitor. This value is given by Vs by R2. Now let us see, one thyristor T1 is conducting and we want to switch off the thyristor T1, then we will switch on the thyristor T2. So if T2 is given trickle pulse, just see here, initially we have given trickle pulse Ig1 to thyristor T1, now we will give here trickle pulse to thyristor T2, that is Ig2. So once we give the trickle pulse to thyristor Ig2, then what will happen? Thyristor T1 will be switched off. So IT1, which is the current flowing across thyristor T1, will be 0. So this is the current which is flowing across thyristor T1, that has been shown here with 0 value. Now what will be the voltage across the thyristor T1, that is VT1. Since thyristor T1 is now switched off, so there will be a maximum voltage which will be developed across the thyristor T1, that has been shown with this waveform. And once thyristor T2 has given trickle pulse and thyristor T2 is switched on, so the voltage drop because the thyristor T2 will be reduced to a 0. So this has been shown here, that voltage drop because the thyristor T2 is 0. Now there will be a maximum current flowing across the thyristor T2. So this current will start flowing to thyristor T2, but we see that until unless the capacitor has got fully charged, there will be two current will be flowing across the thyristor T2. That is, one current will be through resistance R1, that will have a twice of the voltage Vs upon R1, and plus second current will be flowing through the resistor R2, that will have a Vs by R2. So these are the two currents which are flowing initially through this capacitor, and one through this capacitor, that is 2 Vs upon R1, this will be flowing through the capacitor, and Vs upon R2 will be flowing through the resistance R2. But once the capacitor has got fully charged through the supply voltage Vs, so now capacitor current will be start flowing, and only the current which will be flowing across the thyristor T2 will be from the resistance R2. So this is the current Vs by R2 which is flowing through the thyristor T2. From here to here, see, initially we have this current, that is maximum current Vs by R1, which is flowing through the capacitor C, and second part is Vs by R2, which is flowing through the resistor R2. But once capacitor has got sufficiently charged, then capacitor current will become 0, and only one current will be flowing through the resistor T2, that is the Vs by R2, that is the Vs by R2. And let us see, now in this situation the capacitor will start getting charged in opposite direction. So that's why the capacitor Vc, the capacitor voltage is now charges in opposite direction. Here, from here initially it was in positive direction, and now it is charging in the negative direction. That's why the polarity has been reversed here, that is this side has become plus and this side has become minus. So this is the maximum voltage which is available in reverse direction across the capacitor when thyristor T2 is conducting. Now let us see what is the capacitor current. As we know that initially in first case, when the trigger pulse was given to thyristor T1, then this was the charging current Vs by R2, and once we have given trigger pulse to thyristor T2, then this is the again charging in reverse direction current. This is the part which is equivalent to the 2 Vs by R1, 2 Vs by R1. And once the capacitor is got fully charged, then the capacitor current will be stopped. So this is, that's why it has been shown here. There is no capacitor current flowing thereafter. So only capacitor current is flowing in the first stand when T1 is fired, that has been given value by Vs by R2, and in second stand when T2 has been fired, then capacitor current is flowing with 2 Vs by R1. So that is how the waveform has been shown here. Now again, once here we have seen that thyristor T2 is conducting, I want to give the trigger pulse thyristor T1. We will give the trigger pulse thyristor T1 as been shown here. So what will happen? This positive will be appear across the thyristor T2, and the thyristor T2 will be switched off. So this situation has been shown here, that in that case we will give the trigger pulse thyristor T1. So now thyristor T1 will be conducting, and current flowing across the thyristor T1 will be Vs by R1 plus Vs by R2, as I have shown here previously in this case here. So this process will be repeated for the rest parameters also. So these are the various waveforms which I have shown for the class C computation, and this is the circuit diagram for the class C computation. So let us see once more in revise in the brief, that is, this is the overall circuit diagram of the class C computation, where we have two thyristors, thyristor T1 and thyristor T2, and we have two branches, that is one branch is through resistance R1 and another branch through resistance R2, and in between we have connected a capacitor C. So it is a class C computation only because initially we let us consider that thyristor T1 is conducting, so capacitor is charged plus right side and left negative side, left side. Now if we switch on the thyristor T2, so this positive polarity will appear across the thyristor T1 cathode side, and this thyristor T1 will become the reverse bias, so thyristor T1 will be switched off. Now once thyristor T1 is switched off, and now we will give the trigger pulse to thyristor T2. So thyristor T2 is conducting, so capacitor is now charged in opposite direction, that is plus is this side and negative is this side. Now if we give the trigger pulse to thyristor T1, so this positive polarity will be corrected across the thyristor T2 cathode here, so this thyristor T2 will become reverse bias and thyristor T2 will be switched off. So that is how it is called the class C computation, that if T2 is running and we switch on the thyristor T1, then it will try to switch on the thyristor T2. And similarly, if T1 is conducting and we give the trigger pulse to thyristor T2, so this thyristor T2 will try to switch on the thyristor T1. That's why this circuit is named as a class C computation. If you like this video, then please subscribe this channel for more videos.